think you touched on earlier the inclusion in the job descriptions and making sure that the job descriptions are inclusive. I'll touch on a couple of tools a little bit later, but one of the things that I was trying to get a sense for is, what should be considered in creating a roadmap to modernizing your recruiting, and how should companies, measure success?
Yeah, so I think you have to be realistic first about what your company can handle, right? I think if you're saying that you want to be a 10% diverse company, and right now you are at nearly zero, right? There are small leaps and bounds. You're not going to be able to develop this pipeline overnight. And you really don't want to grow so quickly that you end up losing the candidates that you do get. So a couple of things you would want to consider on the backside are there industries that you truly can go and tap into for this subset of the population? Are you looking in places where the candidates really should be? Are you considering the organization structure to say we are set up for that at all levels of the organization? And if the answer is no, the goals that you set initially should be realistic, even if they're low.
Yeah, goals, when you talk about goals, I think if you don't measure, you don't get the answer. So one of the things that I looked at is when you're setting goals, to your point about being realistic, make sure sometimes you set a range, right? You're like, here's the range that we're going to go. We know this is what the addressable market is. And so you can get that data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can get that, the census data. You can look at the demographics for your city. There are a number of sources that you could go and get that data so you can make an informed decision on how you're going to set the goals. And once you set the goals, it's key to just pick a few things that you're going to measure. I'd love to get your thoughts on post recruiting, measurements that you look at. I wanted to share that on the recruiting side, what some of the things that you might want to look at is, hey, what does the time to hire look like? That's an outcome. So how long is it taking us to hire someone? Probably more important in this diversity sourcing space is what's the source of hire, right? What do the channels look like? Yep. How efficient and how effective are the channels and the sources that you're going to get candidates? And if you only have a few things to look at, sourcing channel effectiveness might be one, time to hire might be another one, pipeline might be another one, the diversity of your pipeline, because you have to start somewhere. And since we're talking about the top of the funnel, if you can't fill the funnel with diverse talent, you're not going to hire diverse talent. Absolutely. And so I think that's probably a place that you look, on the front end of the funnel.